All right, so I'm all for people trying to make more money and people having an easier time in life, getting by, affording everyday items, having a place to live, all those things. But I was in Arizona, and I'm not a resident of Arizona right now, but I was walking around the University of Arizona, and there's people outside, of course, like there is on any college campus. And here they were, raise the minimum wage, sign this petition to raise the minimum wage. And while I'm sure everyone would like to make more money per hour, if you just nominally give people more money every hour for the same work that they're doing, and everyone gets risen up, it's going to result in inflation, right? You've already seen that in California. They are going to, I think, to make the minimum wage $20 an hour for like everyone. So if you're working at McDonald's or wherever, it's going to be $20 an hour. We've already seen that. The prices of stuff at McDonald's have gone up. The prices of everything have gone up. So even though you're making more money, everyone in the economy has to pay, more for everything. The prices of gas, food, rent, utilities, everything goes up accordingly, if not more than whatever the minimum wage is, right? So instead of making $12 an hour or $14 an hour, you're making $20 an hour, but the prices of everything have gone up incredibly high. Not to mention that California, on $20 an hour in California, I don't think you could afford to live on your own making $20 an hour just in California. So, but consumers are choosing to not really go there anymore. I was watching a video on McDonald's and how, their stock price is doing really well, but that's because they're more of a real estate company. They have franchises that they franchise out the business model to, and they have those franchisees run the business. But people are not shopping there as much because it's no longer really cheap. I was there the other day. The coffee's still cheap. You can still get a coffee for like $1.30, just a black coffee. But you look at like the Big Mac and all the meals. I don't think the dollar menu or the $2 menu is really the same. And of course the food is garbage anyway in terms of being healthy. So people aren't shopping there. They're realizing that fast food it's not good for you, but it used to be cheap, right? It used to be $1 or 2 McChickens for like $1 or $2, whatever it was. Now it's kind of right on par or even more expensive than just shopping in the grocery store. So if they no longer have the advantage of being cheap, which a lot of these places are not that cheap anymore because of the rising cost of food and materials and labor, right? They have to pay the worker at McDonald's a lot more than they used to. So people are not going to eat there as much at Wendy's or at Arby's or at all these fast food, the normal Burger King, all the normal fast food places that people used to go to. And again, not to mention that it's incredibly unhealthy for people. You wonder why so many people are overweight or obese, or they have health issues at a relatively young age. A lot of it has to do with the food. You go to a different country, the food is much better. It doesn't have as much of the fast food places all over the place that's really unhealthy. You come to America, you go to like a Walmart or just hang out around all these restaurants, you'll see a lot of really unhealthy people because largely of the food and how cheap it is and how easy it is to get overweight. It's a lot more expensive to actually eat healthy and be healthy and stay healthy, right? So I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like, of course, everyone would like to make more money, but if you just start paying everyone more money for doing the same job they were doing before, the prices of the products are going to go up. I mean, I was in Las Vegas just recently and just walking around. I mean, an ice cream cone is like $16. Parking is like $20. If you want to eat anywhere, it's $20 minimum. Just for like a basic, for one person, just for a basic cheeseburger. Of course, that's more of an attraction and it's an international spot, so there's a lot of demand for people to just hang out in Las Vegas. But the prices of everything are really high. Like if you were out having to pay for all your meals from a restaurant every day, and pay to park, and pay to stay in a hotel, you know, you're going to be out $300 a day probably just to do that. So 300, you know, that's like $10,000 a month. If you're eating out every day, if you're staying in a hotel, or if you're, you know, just traveling around, that's a lot more money than most people make. But again, the prices, they're not really even listed. A lot of the prices, you just ask for something. Like, I think the craziest one was like that ice cream cone. I just couldn't believe how expensive that was. You know, a whole tub of ice cream at like any of the grocery stores is like $4 maybe $5. And then you get a one self-serve ice cream cone, it's like $16 or $17. I understand it's Las Vegas, but still, the prices of everything, because of where they are, or the real estate, the employee they have to pay them to be there, everything's just way more expensive down there. But in general, even just in a city, a normal city, the prices of everything have gone up. So another thing I saw is that people had to work basically more than just one job to afford the cost of living. So there's a record number of people now that are have some sort of side job or a second job, so that they can afford, you know, to exist, to pay all the expenses that keep rising. It's kind of difficult as just a single person to pay all the inflating costs of transportation, of rent, clothing, food, all of these things on just one income. You know, insurance, healthcare, all of these things on just one income. So you got a lot of people that are doing side jobs or side hustles, because they want to have insurance, they want to have, you know, like a normal steady job. But then what they're finding out is that just having that income is oftentimes not enough to basically afford life. Like, they have to do something on top of that. So all these numbers that get reported in terms of, oh, the economy just hired 300,000 people, or 300,000 more jobs for the month of January or whatever, a lot of those jobs are actually people getting second jobs, or people that have, you know, a lot of people maybe have 2 or 3 jobs, when in an ideal world they would really only want to have one job, but they simply can't get everything they need financially out of one job. They need health insurance maybe from a normal job, but then they need to make side money on the second job, and then maybe the third job is like a seasonal thing that they do. And so people are having to work multiple jobs instead of just, you know, getting, in the past, you could pretty much get everything you needed if you had a decent job. You could get insurance, you could afford a family, you could afford a house, you know, maybe a car or 2 on just a normal 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 job, whatever it is. So you guys let me know if you can afford life on one job. Be curious to see. I think there's an unprecedented amount of people now that are working multiple jobs, or doing more than one thing because they have to. So let me know what you think. Put your comments in, and we'll see you on the next one.